Hello and welcome to the second session of Hearts of Yokai. This is a hack PbtA that originally started as a changeling hack and has drifted, shall we say. Here we have a slightly different cosmology. Last time we did our session 0, where we set up our characters and their entanglements and so on. And we're going to continue on from there. We're going to talk safety. I'm going to have people tell me about the dominus of their different courts, and we're going to get to play. So just as a reminder, this session is part of the Open Hearth Gaming Community, which is an online gaming club / community. We have a open gaming weekend running November 10th through 12th. And that's basically if people are interested in trying out online games. We do this every once in a while. It's our first of our new ones called the Share Hearth. And you can just come and sign up. I have a link to that in the show notes. Sign-ups open October 24th at noon US Eastern. And we've got right now about 12.5 games, plus some more that are promised and a couple of seminars. And people can just come and see. We originally started this at the start of the pandemic in case there were people who suddenly were forced to play online and hadn't done it before and wanted to see what it was all about. And we've continued that on as a way to do that, to showcase what our community does and to show off some new and interesting games. There's a very wild assortment this time. I'm really digging what we have on the calendar, so you should go and check that out. My name is Lowell, pronouns he, him, and I am the GM for this. So our lines and veils, as with all of the games played on the Open Hearth and Shared Hearth, we are using a layered set of safety tools. So right now we have set lines on sexual assault and cannibalism. We have veils on eye injuries, sexual content, and torture. And then we have ask first for anything involving harm to children, PC betrayal, or suicide. So if those topics were to arise, we would stop and check in with the table before we would go to that. So that's our sort of baseline. That's organic. It can change. It can evolve. We can add to this as we need to. The second in-play tool that we have, of course, is the X card, as you well know. You can do the gesture, or you can say X card. X card being used to mark out material that is problematic, objectionable, you feel is wildly off tone. These are all reasons to do it. It's also a way for us to kind of stop and ask to recalibrate where we're at on things. And with all of the safety tools, you may explain your choices if you wish, but you do not have to, and you never have to defend your choices when you're using your safety tools. We also have an open door policy in case people need to step away. And we also have a romance matrix for characters and their interest in romance with PCs, with NPCs. We have a little table for that. So we are going to now have our characters reintroduce themselves so we remember who they are and where they're at. And then I'm going to talk to folks about the court. So Matt, you are in first chair today. Because I saw that you were eating, of course, so I had to do that. So why don't you reintroduce your character to us?
Sure thing. I am playing Path, who is the playbook constructed and is a channel of the Court of Tides. Path spent some time with sort of a cabal of Taken as a host or a hollow or a channel even for the Taken to access the memories of various people, enemies, rivals, friends, allies, whoever's minds and memories they wanted to engage with. They used Path as a channel to do so. So Path was basically hollowed out mostly, and was then a receptacle to host the memories and for others to provide visions for their taking. Path now is escaped during a sort of a catastrophic event for the Taken when they reached into the mind of someone they should not, and that person struck back at them or something like that. Path isn't too sure. But now Path is a person who has had much of their identity and selfhood taken from them and is now grappling with that. I think I want Path to have she, her pronouns because Path is so firmly,
rather than she, they.
So firmly wanting to be something clear and defined. And not that one cannot and use they, them pronouns, but I think Path is like, this is me and I'm this right now and I need this. And I think that's kind of what Path is like generally. And finally, Path belongs to the Court of Tides, which is the court of dread. They are vengeful, they are ostentatious, and they are oracular. But Path's escape in some way disrupted the court from being able to access some of that knowledge that the Taken were harvesting. So in some way, she's not a black sheep, but she is a little bit on the bad side of some of the higher ups in her court, and she's trying to find her place. And there's probably more, but I think we'll just leave it there for now.
Now, I think that is perfect. You will start with 2 bonds with your so choose 2 of your fellow PCs that you have bonds with. All right. I am going to come back. There's going to be a question I'm going to pose after we introduce everybody, which is going to be asking you, what is it that your character wants right now? Not like big picture wants, but like right in this moment when we come in, like, what do they want? Donna, please reintroduce your character to us.
Yeah, my name is Donna. My pronouns are he, him, and I'm playing Scale, known as Red to his friends. Scale is a hound, a type of brute, and is a member of the Court of Towers. I guess the emotion the court deals with is wrath, but unlike Scale, who is a very kind of upfront, angry person, they are calculating and ritualistic and unyielding. So yeah, I guess they may have a hard time keeping Scale on the leash, so to speak. So we'll see how that goes. In terms of where he was taken, as a young man on a camping trip, put through this ordeal before being taken properly, and once there became, a bandit, murderer, general terrorizer for the takers in the realm of the Blackwater. And escaped by being on the losing side, thrown into a river, and then ending up washed ashore. So yeah, we'll see what he gets up to in his day-to-day.
Excellent. All right. I think that gives us a good sense. And again, you'll add bonds. You put the name on the one side and put the value on the second column. That brings us to Ondish.
Yeah, I'm Anders, him. I am playing Lord Bloom, who is a beloved, in this case called a flower. He was taken and turned into a decoration. He never fully understood the situation he was in. He had no control over what was going on, and then he was discarded without ever realizing fully what was happening. And now he tries to compensate for that by asserting control around him. And he is pretty far from dealing with what has happened to him. He is a part of the Court of Candles, which is the Court of Lament. They are artisan, orderly, and listeners. He is, well, probably a bit orderly, probably a fairly good listener, though in a more selfish way than you might think of it regularly. Yeah.
Excellent. All right. And last but not least, Sabine.
Hi, my name is Sabine. I use any pronouns, and I am playing Mirage, who uses any pronouns, but mostly I think they. Mirage is an unmade, also called Dream Wisp, or if you're not as polite, you might also call them a nothing. Mirage has wandered off their life when they were very young. They barely remember because they were taken to courts and places, and they don't remember. They remember mists and snow and cold. That's it. Basically, they are not quite sure, I think, how they escaped from that. They have a connection to dreams. I think they followed a bauble of the dreams, and that's how they arrived at the Court of Banners, which is the Court of Joy. And they have been hanging on there since, because the court seems to enjoy them, having them around. And also some of their dreams are pretty, I guess, and they're not as cold. So yay.
Excellent. Now, each of you belong to a different court, and I asked that you come up with a name, and maybe we'll ask you what they're like here for the leaders of each of these courts. So, Matt, Path, for the Court of Tides, who leads the Court of Tides?
The leader of the Court of Tides is Platinum Royal. And Platinum Royal is certainly ostentatious, in the most like elegant, put together, pristine way. And in a way that looks so perfect that it does inspire fear, I think. Like, no one should look like this. And if they were a playbook, they might be a fearing, but I'm not sure on all the details there. I think there are rumors that she consorts with demons of the deep seas. The court is oracular, so she is certainly such, although I think it's more natural to her, whereas others will perform great rituals and complicated things in order to see visions, but I think it just comes to her in that way. Yeah, I think she is very much like emblematic of her court.
Okay.
And vengeful, of course.
Yeah.
Put that one first, actually. Put vengeful,
vengeful first.
Yeah.
Vengeful first. So then, Donna, you are from the Court of Towers. So tell us about the Lord of the Court of Towers.
The Dominus is habitual first. He is austere and poised, and I think, the feature that most sticks with you is those cold eyes, which kind of drill into the heart or the truth of the matter.
So again, fairly emblematic of his court.
Yeah.
Excellent. And then Lord Bloom, you are with the Court of Candles.
Yeah, the dominus of the Court of Candles is spoken silence. She presents as a woman, very indeterminate age, she looks somewhere between 30 and 60. It's very hard to tell. Very extremely pale, almost completely white skin, always dressed completely in black. And she is, I think she's motherly in a cold, distant fashion. Like she's trying to guide the people of her court, and she will put her foot down when she needs to, but she's generally lets things play out rather than interfere unless she needs to. But she does have a sense of affection for the members of her court. Yeah, and I think her art, because of the artisan thing, I think her art is constructing very detailed dioramas, like with tiny little figures and buildings and that sort of
I like that. That brings us, last but not least, to the Court of Banners.
Okay, the dominance of the Court of Banners is Tomorrow's Dance. I uses mostly he pronouns, but sometimes others, however the mood strikes them. Tomorrow's Dance is reckless and dramatic mostly, because that's what the house is about, right? And you exalt in your misadventures, I'd say. The elegance that the court is known for in him is mostly expressed in movement and dance. He's a bit fickle and rather volatile, as you might expect. As a leader, his favor is given out on a whim, mostly. Or maybe there's a plan. I don't, it's Mirage doesn't know that. Nobody knows if there is a plan. Probably not, though. Probably they just do what's most dramatic in any given situation.
Excellent. So our city, we know that it is a seaside town that's had better days in Normandy. There is a decaying port. There's also a not great beach down there that has a little French sort of beach house, along them. And I mentioned the port and some of the sort of the low city is down there, kind of adjacent to the beach. And then the body of the city with the old walls and old architecture kind of goes upwards, rises up, kind of weird meandering streets that are sort of built in some places around the walls, some places not. It makes it a place that's hard to drive around, especially for tourists. It's one of the reasons that tourists don't necessarily come here. And then once that kind of rises up, you drive up to the tops of the cliff, where you get to like probably the nicer, more upscale developments, the beautiful cliff views, and where real estate developers have knocked down the old architecture and are building there. And then we go out to the Normandy countryside. We get into to castles and old things out there. It is a town that is given to fogs that roll in. The name of the town is let me get this. I wrote it down. A Courant Noir, and that's my bad French for black currant. Okay. So that's what we're going to be calling this place. So, Matt, the four of you are kind of together as a group based on circumstance and friendship. What is the place that the four of you have found to live in that maybe you're not actually supposed to be there?
I can't resist making it an old theater. Like moth-eaten velvet curtains, like a proper playhouse of, probably maybe centuries old. Maybe it's had some updating from the community theaters that have come and gone since, but there are those classic balconies. There are like props sitting around, long forgotten, and old dusty costumes that sometimes we try on, or at least I do. Um, and yeah, we can fill it in more as we go. But I'm imagining like high ceilings, a big feeling of emptiness, a strange smell, and maybe sometimes we think it's haunted, or like to imagine that it is, or it sounds like it is probably.
I imagine it's one of the places we probably do see there is a barrier fence outside that you slip through to get to this place. It has been for the last few years apparently moved around between different owners. Because of historical relevance, it can't be knocked down easily, but at the same time, it is not worth for the moment people's time to spend the money to renovate and rebuild. What kind of space has Scale carved out for themselves in this place? You've got a lot of room to make your own sort of bedroom or meditation space or whatnot. So what does Scales look like?
I think I'm underneath the boards, so there's an old drop that I probably use as the entrance, even though there's a proper door. So it's just full of junk and old knickknacks that have been squirreled away through here over the years. And yeah, I think there's like a mattress in the corner with a few, maybe a few chairs that have been kind of left down here for repair, but are now part of this furniture. So there's a balcony up in the main area, which is missing a few, right? So yeah, very hodgepodge. I mean, I think most people would say Scale doesn't care at all about where he is based on their kind of initial reception of this location.
I like that. And on sort of the opposite side of the spectrum from that lack of care, what has Lord Bloom set up as his nest?
I think he has three places that he kind of not claimed. Two of them he has claimed, and one is one that he uses. For the most part, he just spends his time on the stage. He's like set up some pieces of furniture just scattered around, and he'll spend his time there. And then what he says is his private space is one of the boxes up on the balcony, like a private. Do you call it that? A private box? Yeah. Which he has made a bit cozy and that sort of thing. And that's where he'll take like special guests and that sort of. But his actual private space is one of the rooms for the actors, just not like the main stars room, just one of the very small changing rooms completely anonymous, that is actually his private space, where he has just a very simple bed and a few personal books, and I think he probably has a journal, that sort of.
I like it. I like that you've kind of built not just a room, but a whole set of spaces there. And what about for Mirage?
I think what Mirage has done is somewhere pretty close to the stage. There is a huge, it's an oven or hearth. It's probably a hearth. And Mirage has drawn this thing from dreams. And they continually draw other stuff onto this hearth so that it remains warm and cozy and flickering. And sometimes odd things appear there from the dreams of the people. Sometimes there are toys there, or there's a little bowl of milk from a dream of a cat, or things like that. And that's where Mirage spends most of their time. They don't like the cold. They feel drawn to it, but this is their cozy space where they feel like, okay, I'm safe here.
And let's say we're at the end of September. It is getting cooler. We are into autumn. We have 4 courts. They change over kind of on an irregular schedule, in the sense that the order that the 4 go in can swap based on some sort of strange calculations from the rituals. And right now, the Court of Tides is set to be taking over in October, in a week's time. Path, which court of the other 3 is currently in charge? Is it banners, candles, or towers?
Let's go with banners.
Okay. So the Court of Banners, the Court of Joy is there, running September out as well. And I had you set up the theater, and I didn't ask you what your spot is in it, as Anders reminded me. So, Path, where are you in the theater?
Let's go with the control room, where the sound and things are done. I'm not sure how much like technology is actually there. Maybe there's some really old school stuff, like a board around and things like that. But I wanted somewhere quiet, because I think my head is always so full of sound and ghosts and things, and I wanted to have like an isolated place. So, and then maybe this place makes me feel a little bit in control.
There's no electricity, but you've got old board, you've got old squawk boxes down to the stage, old cables that have been frayed through. But it's a space that has definitely been built to be a little more insulated. Path, what is it that you want right now? The 4 of you have all arrived relatively recently here in the city. You've made your place a little bit with the courts. You've been given a little bit of walking around money, some identity papers and documents that they will hold up to base inspection, but otherwise might be an issue. So money is tight. You're trying to find your way, but what is it that Path wants right now that they might not be able to get right away?
You want something concrete, or something like more of a goal?
I think more concrete, like right now, what does Path want or need?
Well, I think Path wants to prove herself useful in the eyes of her court. So, like, the reason I was asking about vague is because I think she wants like an opportunity to sort of make herself um, either like a hero or at least an asset. She wants competence. But as far as something like specific, I think she wants Lean and Hungry Mike off of out of out of the scene. I think she wants him gone. I think she wants him because she's causing problems for Lord Bloom, I believe, or he's causing problems for Lord Bloom. He's stirring up trouble with some of the other supernaturals, and I think she sees that as an opportunity to like clear out a pesky annoyance that a lot of people would appreciate her for.
I like it. Same question for Scale. What is it that Scale wants right now?
I think on a much more profane level, Scale has been turning up down at the docks every morning for the last couple of weeks, looking for a job on a trawler or unloading stuff, but just isn't getting picked off the line. So maybe casting around to someone who might be able to send them in the right direction or pull a string or whatever.
Okay. And Lord Bloom?
Yeah. I think he's also he wants to find out what Lean and Hungry Mike is up to, because he's been causing trouble. And getting rid of him, sure, that would be great, but I think he's got this itch that something is up, and he thinks Lean and Hungry Mike is behind it. He needs to find out what is going
on. Okay. And Mirage?
Yeah, I think since the seasons are changing, I think Tomorrow's Dance has told Mirage that they should go and get a gift for the new dominant chords Dominus to give to. And Mirage is now like scratching their head, like, what do I give to Platinum Royal? Yeah, well, that's their problem now.
Yeah, that has been dropped in your lap. So Path, do you have a phone?
I got a flip phone.
Okay. Yeah. Cheap, relatively, how do I put this? Primitive of features, easily disposed of, that kind of thing. You will get a call from Hopscotch. This is Scale's rival. You've met them before. They're in the Court of Towers. And they call you up out of the blue. Path, I hope you don't mind. I asked someone if I could get your number.
Well, I suppose it's too late for me having a say in the matter.
A little. But if you have a number and it's out there, people will find it. That's how these things work. You're a seer. You could find these things. You know how this works.
That's not how I would deign to use my powers, but besides the point. Hello, Hopscotch.
I have a favor, task that I would like to ask your assistance with.
A favor does not imply payment. Would you like to share any of the details?
So there is a little cafe that is kind of how do I put this? On its uh last legs, let us say. And I have a friend who is invested in it. And I know that you are a seer. And perhaps I could have you come down and maybe do a reading, maybe see if you could give me some ideas about propitious, good vibes, things that we could do to improve things there. I can make it worth your time.
You absolutely must, because what you're suggesting sounds very mundane, and I am sure that you have another motive.
Well, I always have another motive, but right now I have a practical thing I need to get done.
Well, I would like an invitation to the tide change celebration that someone important is holding, and I would not be invited to otherwise.
Ah, you're still trying to find your way in amongst your own court.
They see me as a loss in their strength, and I will prove to them otherwise.
Well, the ambition is good. I always can work with ambition. So I'll text you an address, and maybe tomorrow you can come by.
Fine.
See, now you sound hesitant. It sounds like you're maybe a little wary of me.
I'm certainly wary of you. What I was going to do is pretend like I was busy and, make you work for it. But I'm got to be honest here. I'm available.
Those are words that are music to my ear. So yes, I will see you tomorrow. You come on down.
Goodbye, Hopscotch.
Goodbye to you. Scale, what are you doing to try and find that work? Are you trying to find a fixer? Are you kind of researching around? Are you trying to find somebody from amongst the changed that might know something? What do you think?
Yeah, I think I might have to go to someone, maybe from the Court of Tides. Maybe they kind of, just by dint of our natural association, kind of run the deal down at the wharfs. So yeah, I think there may be I know almost nothing about questions so loud.
Okay.
But
Yeah, so let's
I
look.
know
What
they're
do we...
important because they're Path's mentor, so they must have some kind of power, right?
Absolutely. They have absolutely helped out Path. They're one of the people that has been kinder to Path than the others. And that kind of sticks out. So you will head down to meet up with him. Do you feel like you call ahead, or you just kind of head down to where the court folk usually hang out?
Yeah, I think I don't call ahead. That is much too straightforward, or not straightforward enough, maybe. Um, yeah, I think I will just show up where I suspect he's going to be, and I guess make my presence felt with a loud cough,
Okay.
and then
They have one of those places that is down by the beach that is a kind of used to be maybe kind of a recreation or youth center that has kind of fallen off, but part of it is still repurposed into like the equivalent of an arcade with skeet ball and other things in it. And you will walk through. There is a door person who will wave you through, and you come back and find Questions So Loud in a heated conversation with the dominus of Tides, Platinum Royal, and they seem to be like agitated about something. But when you make your presence known with a cough, they stop. Royal moves from like being really kind of in Question So Loud's face to standing upright with all decorum, and will nod at you, doesn't say anything, but leaves. And Questions will look at you. Scale, right?
yeah, it's me.
Okay.
I've been told you're the person to ask.
To ask about what?
Well, anything really. But I'm looking for some work. I've been queuing on the pier for like 2 weeks now and nothing. So
Old networks, tight. You've got a mix of the old school people and the new immigrants who have been here for a decade or two that have built up their networks. It's hard to wedge your way in.
well, some of those old people, you can help me get wedged in, right?
Is that really what you want to do? Loading, unloading? You don't want something more creative, something more suited to your talents?
I don't want something more suited to my talents. Yeah, I can gut fish.
Uh let's have you roll. I think here is I think we're actually maybe doing a study here. You're trying to get some information out of him, trying to get a lead more than anything.
Yeah. And I think for free, right? we all know that really what is like singing in Scale's heart is a desire to do violence, but he is trying to steer himself away from this, right? So I think when I am studying questions, I think maybe it's sorrow because I'm kind of afraid of the answer he's going to give me. He may tell me there's no way in with these folks, but you can do something much more worthy if you stick with me or something. I don't know. Anyway, I think that's why I'm gonna roll with sorrow. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
36 plus 0. Wow, yeah, setting the tone.
So That is a miss. So the good news is you get to mark XP. Bad news is Questions Aloud says, I have the perfect job for you. May not be exactly what you want, but it's a way to help some things out and maybe allow me to pull some levers and get you in the kind of job that you do want.
Oh, okay. So this is
It's a stepping stone.
Favor up front for you so that you can then do for me. Okay, I get that.
So
who's the fish?
there is a guy by the name of Macaulay. He's been here for a couple of years, and he's gotten a little following. And he has, how do I put this? Has a little group of people that follow his self-actualization advice. But he scammed a couple of us. A couple have changed. They joined up with him and turned over a lot of the cash and goods that they had to him, and then kind of fell on the outs when they didn't have any more money. We think he's got some kind of magic. We don't know exactly what it is. We don't know exactly how he's doing it. But he has a set, like a suite of offices up in Hightown that he operates out of. I'd just like you to maybe go and take a sniff around. I mean, you're a hound, right? You don't need to do anything necessarily, but maybe you could check and see what you're feeling, what your vibe is about it.
Who did he scam?
I don't want to give names on that. There's some embarrassment on their part. And one of them took it very hard.
Okay.
You good with that?
In my head, I'll just think it's you questions, okay? Because that will help me.
Absolutely. Visualize. They're going to be talking to a guy who does this kind of thing. So get into the habit of visualizing, telling yourself the secret, all that stuff.
Okay. I don't know what any of that means.
Okay. Sorry. A little bit out. Path okay? How are they doing?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I kind of see them every so often, like in their window, looking down on us. So yeah, it's kind of strange. It's like I don't know what they see.
He will stop and he will say, people like Path, they're more easily broken than many of the changed. They're fragile. So maybe you keep an eye.
Okay. I mean, she looks at me a lot. Like, I don't know what's. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. She's looking at me a lot.
Okay.
But okay, I'll look out for her. Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
All right. I appreciate that. All right. You have a phone?
I think so. Yeah.
Well, do you have a number?
Uh, yeah.
Yeah, let me see your phone.
So yeah, a Nokia brick comes out,
Yes.
and it's kind of obvious that Scale doesn't really use it at all. Like he holds it wrong, and looks at it like it's an alien object.
Ah, I didn't know they were still phones with no Bluetooth. Let me type. Let me just call you and it'll be in the memory. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
He pulls out his Pixel, does all that and sends it on to you. Lord Bloom, what is it that you are doing right now? We've heard that Lean and Hungry Mike is kind of on your mind, kind of there, kind of stuck. Are you going to collect people to assist you? Are you investigating Lean and Hungry Mike? What are you doing?
I think talking to people, trying to find out where he usually hangs out, who his friends are, that sort of thing. And I think it's like on the fringes of the courts. It's like because I don't remember if we define, but I think he's not, whether he's a changed or not, he's not like inside the court system, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Or is that
he is a
reasonable?
changed, but he interacts a lot more with some of the other supernaturals. You know that.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, so I think I'm trying to talk to other people who are also kind of like on the edges, not like spending all their time in court business, but dealing more with other types of supernatural.
Yeah. Then let's have you roll study.
Cool. So study now I need to. So I roll with one on my thing.
Yeah.
There's a list somewhere of what's associated with that, right?
So the stats are basically your emotions, like what is driving you when you're going to do this. None of the moves have stats. So
I think that the underlying emotion here is fear, because Lord Bloom is worried about what Lean and Hungry Mike is up to.
Okay.
So that's a 0. Nice. That's an 8.
Okay. So that is one hold.
I don't think all my moves.
So you can ask a question or you can reveal a detail.
Cool. I think I want to ask a question, and this will be about person, obviously.
Okay.
Is it limited to these questions, or can I come up with something?
You can absolutely come up with something of your own. Basically, a question about a person, question about a situation or place, or reveal a detail.
Yeah. So I think it's mainly who is his most important ally, maybe. Like who would protect him? Let's who would protect him if he was in danger? If that's a question I can ask.
Let's see. I think you know that unlike a lot of the changed, he does, as you said, as I said, operate around with the other supernaturals, even though a lot of them, fear, resent, dislike you. Somehow he has done that. And you will have heard that there is a particular ghost, one of the hungry ghosts, that he's made some kind of bond with, some kind of contract. Uh, and it is bound into his shadow. And it's kind of always around. You're not sure what the name of that ghost is, but like it operates both as a bodyguard and a heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, so I think that's what you will pick up on that.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Mirage, you've been given this task of the gift. Is that what you're working on, or is there something else you want to be doing right now?
No, I think I would like to figure out how to go about this, because the way these chords act, I don't even know if this gift is meant to be an insult or a compliment or both. And thus I will have to ask someone for advice. Luckily enough, I know Path, and she seems to be someone I might ask about this, because she knows at least the Court of Ties, and also I've heard that she gives good counsel, and I can hardly ask questions so loud, because I'm vaguely aware that some of the things I've done with somebody else might actually have been a crime against them. Like maybe I helped steal some of their stuff, and no, I don't even know how to deal with that situation.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I would like to stay at my hearth, but that is probably not in my cards for the future. So I will go and look for a Path, because she is pretty near, so I don't have to move away far. Because usually when I move away far, bad things happen. So yeah.
So you can find Path certainly up in those offices. It's a place nearby. So what's your gambit for asking them for help?
What does Path like? Because I want to bring a gift. I know bringing gifts is a good idea. So I think
Path, what would Mirage think is a good gift for you?
I think my control room is full of little treasures. I do share the love of ostentatiousness that my court likes, but it's not always about it being on me. It's also about it being like in my space. So just bring me something that a bird who likes shiny things would like.
Oh, shiny things. Okay. I will draw something from a dream, I think.
Okay.
Because I can do that, and it's the easiest way. And also I would get something ostentatious. I have not a clear idea what that might be. It's probably some sort of, it's sort of a statue of an Oscar, only embedded with and encrusted with gems. Hopefully.
Yeah. What do you want to roll that with?
Yeah, I want to roll that with, in that case, I think, what am I feeling here? There's no hope. So
hope is close to joy in the great wheel of things.
Yeah, I think that would be what I try. Yeah, that's a good call. Let me try that. It's probably not going to go well. I need dice on the roll.
Oh.
I always forget them. It's a 4.
So first off, go ahead and mark joy.
Mhm.
And I think you will reach in, you visualize into the dream, and you draw out, and there is a statue that you've drawn out, but it's glistening and wet and black, and more of an octopus kind of look to it that kind of wraps around. It's slick and slippery in your hands as you hold it.
It's not a good gift. I don't think this is an appropriate gift, but also it's kind of attached to my hand now. And I kind of don't want to hurt its feelings, I guess, or the whole thing. So I'm just taking it with me. I'm
Okay.
trying to hide it behind my back when I go to talk to Path. No, I have no gift, but maybe I can. I'll figure something out.
Path,
Maybe.
when Mirage comes to see you, where are you? Are you working on something? Are you meditating? Are you eating? Where do we see you?
I think I have an easel set up and I'm doing some very mediocre painting. Just trying to find something that feels good. I think I kind of cycle through artistic hobbies, and this is what I'm doing now.
Okay. And Path, Mirage, you see them appear. They definitely have like a real feeling of like doom hanging over them as they come. So Mirage, how do you open this conversation?
I will lurk around for a bit, working up my nerve to talk to Path while she's clearly doing something. That might just come out as lurking, and also I'm dripping, I think, ink. And then I will say, "Hi, Path. Can I talk to you?"
Wondered when you might speak up. Were you enjoying your time in the corner?
No. I wanted to. Well, I have a question. I've been asked by my Dominus to find a gift for your Dominus when the tide change happens. And I have no idea what would be appropriate. And I was wondering, since you are wise and filled with foresight, if you might advise me or give me a piece of advice, I will try to make it worth your while if I can.
Well, I suppose that we are honoring the changeover between your court and mine. And so usually I would ask my mentor questions like this. And maybe I could give you his number and you could give him a call, and he would probably have a lot of great answers for you.
Yeah, he might also have a couple of great questions for me that I'm not so very well prepared to answer at this point in time.
He always has great questions and I'm never prepared to answer, but I understand. Let's think this through. So Platinum Royal likes beautiful things, but you can't just bring a simple, beautiful thing because she has wardrobes full of those. She has giant pools full of those things. So something useful to her is always valuable. She is a nasty lady who I respect very much. And An instrument for vengeance is always a gift that she appreciates. Maybe that's not something your Dominus would like to give to another Dominus. Oh, let me think. And I go back to like my painting. Let me just review my moves here for a moment.
Sure.
I will say I don't know what my Dominus would want to give for a gift. If it's the more dramatic, I think, the better from what I've seen of him so far. Maybe, yeah, some.
Yeah. The change just take offense so quickly to nearly everything that I pray for you, my friend.
Thank you. I think I need it.
We could make something, and I look back at my my painting.
Yeah.
And
I look at the thing in my hand. I think maybe I don't know. Not too sure about that.
Haven't I seen you make beautiful things wrought from wonderful dreams before? Like, aren't you the kind of person who could make something like that?
Yeah, I tried last. That's my latest thing.
And you see Path, like an unrepressed shudder goes through her body as you show her like a nightmare from the depths that she's escaped from.
Yeah, I'm sorry. This was supposed to, I wanted to make something pretty for you, but I guess I'm nervous. This is what happens when I'm nervous.
Okay, we won't make something. That's okay. That's fine. And we won't ask my mentor. I'll scry for something. I'll look for, maybe she said something to someone else, and I can find a memory of something she said that she wanted in a private moment. How does that sound?
That sounds fantastic. Thank you so much, Path. I will find something more appropriate for you in a dream.
Yeah, it's great. You could just
no, I know it's horrible. It's kind. I'm sorry, you're kind of horrible.
Maybe I could boil it down and paint with it.
So it sounds to me like you are aiming to use recall mechanically. Let's do this. Let's take our first break here. Let's take 10 and we'll come back and do that move. Does that sound cool?
That sounds great.
Okay, so take 10 and then we'll come back. So, by the way, Sabine, I assume that the sort of having questions so loud being brought up to you by Path didn't quite rise yet to the level of inner conflict for you.
Oh, I forgot about that. It might have. It actually might have. Yes, but
we may roll to that, back to that in a bit, but just that is also on the table here. But let's start with Path, your recall move. So when you reach into someone's memories about a particular moment, you've met the leader of your court, so that's someone you know. So it seems like that's fair. Let me ask you before you roll, what does that look like to Mirage?
Well, I think that I need a focus of some kind. And I think that the painting that I'm working on looks something like the background of my video. It's a lot of like line work and a lot of interconnecting like channels and rivulets of ink and things like that. So I think I need something like that to get me into that place where I can move around and move through memory. So I think I shut Mirage out, but before I turn away from them, they see like the third eye just like blinking open on my forehead with like the two eyelids. And I think my posture shifts and my neck rolls back, and I give myself to my work.
Okay.
Okay.
What are you rolling that with?
I am rolling that with I think in this moment, I'm rolling it with calm. I think this is one of the rare times that I've used my powers since I've returned, and I actually feel safe doing so. I'm in a comfortable room. I'm with a friend, so I'm going to roll with calm.
Okay.
Here we go. It's a 13.
Absolutely. So you slide into the DM's direct memories of your the Dominus and start rummaging through their memories.
Yeah, so I think the paint, the colors that I use like shift to kind of capture the aura of the Dominus. So you see lots of like purples and silvers oozing onto the canvas. And yeah, I
You
think
get 3 picks off of those options.
that's a lot of picks.
Yeah.
Okay, so
And if you want to poll Sabine on things, feel free to do that.
I definitely would. Sabine, the move is on my sheet if you want to look at the options and see if anything jumps to you. But I'm going to start with, I think, the baseline, what we're trying to do here, and ask a study question. I'm looking at the study move. There's no specific questions, it's just ask a question?
That is correct. Like, what is it that you want to know?
Oh. I'm trying to think if there's any way that I can make this benefit me. I think I am Mirage's friend, and I want to help them.
Okay.
I think I want to know what has Platinum Royal told questions so loud that she wants, that she like. I think this is be something confided, and it might be something related to her own desires and her own agenda.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I think that you will see a vision, a memory of that conversation. And they have a conversation, it's a memory, and I think there's some visualization there. And I think you see her reach down and she lifts up, and you see that she's holding by the long stringy hair, the head of spoken silence. And she says, I want the head of spoken silence.
Okay. I think the room that you're in, Mirage, goes a little darker. Um, let's see. Do you see anything, Sabine, on the recall move that you would like to prompt for me?
I mean, I don't know if you want me to show this memory to me or create a manifestation of that memory, because that's kind of cool, but I don't know if you want to show me that.
Oh gosh. Okay, so this is the memory. It's show it to others, create a manifestation. Okay. Yeah.
You could slightly change some of the details of that memory before showing it to me.
I could do that.
Yeah.
I could do that. Although, oh gosh. And that is the
Get two hold left, two
and
things
that's
left here.
and that's the candles dominus.
That is the dominus of candles, yes.
Okay. Yeah, we're in this together, and I want +1 forward against my own dominus. So I'm gonna take that, but I'm also going to um I guess show the memory to you. I don't think I need a manifestation here. I don't need to overcomplicate it, but I think that
Manifestation is a way to show it.
I guess so, and it can make it creepier and weirder. Let's do that. And I think Mirage is used to manifestations. So
So
yeah,
Mirage, you will see Path there. The room goes darker, and Path raises up her hand, and you will see she is holding by the hair the severed head of the dominus of the Court of Candles, and the dominus of the Court of Candles eyes flicker open, and it says, "Beware, beware," and then into flames.
That is appropriately dramatic, yes. Okay. Oh, I have to find a dream to pull that from. I mean, I doubt that I could actually get that head. That I think that might also be overdoing it.
I mean, should that be seen? I mean, like we can talk as players about like what we need to do, but I think it's going to take a while for Path to come out of that experience. It was more horrific than she expected.
Let me cut away from the two
Okay.
of you, then we'll come
Okay.
back to Mirage in a moment. Scale, you've been given a task, you've been assigned it. Is that what you're working on, or are you doing something else?
Yeah, no, I like to strike while the iron's hot. I mean, a dish best served now is the move. I don't think it's
Absolutely.
appropriate, but the feeling, it's a whole mood, that move. So yeah, I think I will, having got the details from questions, I will, arrive at this
What's the to
location.
get from essentially the town that's kind of by the water down at the bottom of the cliffs, up through the old town and up to Hightown? I mean, do you call a cab? Do you ride the bus? Do you bike?
No,
Do you walk?
I think I walk.
Okay.
I don't have money for a cab certainly, and I think, I think I like a direct route that I have complete control over, so I don't be stuck in traffic. Um, so yeah, I think it's maybe there's a quite a change in elevation between the docks where I start and the high town, and it's this kind of lots of cutback alleys, cobblestones raising up, and then like suddenly it goes from this kind of rundown residential terrace to like this upscale shopping quarter, in the course of one or two streets.
Absolutely. And you will find yourself an area. There's a multi-purpose building that's clearly both sort of upper floor offices, but the ground floor are things for like meetings, for Alcoholics Anonymous and other kinds of meetings, and art center and things like that. And there's a decent sized parking lot, and you know that this is the place that Macaulay operates from. So what do you want to do?
I mean, I just want to sit down. I think I'm a little bit tired from lugging myself up this, at maybe too quick a pace. Maybe my shins are hurting a little bit, and I'm pissed off, and I just want to find this guy. or just like sit down and rest.
Okay.
So maybe I find like one of these old bollards to stop people parking or driving up on these narrow roads, and I just sit there and wait.
And I think there is that crisp evening air. You see people arrive, they go into these places, go to their classes, go to their meetings, things like that. And I think then we're probably about 11 p.m. And you'll see a couple of people come out with a person who matches Macaulay's description. You've been given at least some kind of visual. And these two people look very excited and very earnest. And they would take Macaulay over to a truck that has has stuff in the back and a kind of tarpaulin pulled over it. And you will see them open up the tarpaulin, and there's all kinds of junk in the back. And you'll see Macaulay kind of climb up and start picking through the junk. What do you do?
Yeah, I think my attention is kind of half on him and half on the junk. I think I'll find myself kind of mirroring him, you know, the way they look at the junk, what they put aside, what they are interested in, and yeah, I kind of find myself being lost in the routine that Macaulay takes for.
Do you want to make a study roll to ask some questions here? Or do you just want to wait until he's done?
I think study is unless the only other thing I might think is, am I like extending supernatural senses to the situation?
You can certainly do that if you want to explore this on a more magical side. You could do that.
Yeah.
So why don't you roll with invoke contract?
Yeah, I'll do that. What is my emotion here? I wonder if it's power. I kind of imagine that he is completely unaware of my presence.
Mm-hmm.
He is in doing his normal routine, and one I have a connection with. But like, I wonder in my own head, is this like what the takers did to me or did to all of us? Was I completely oblivious to them? They were there all the time, and then they just took me. So is that power? I think maybe.
Yeah, that feels right. So you're doing this, you're going to extend your senses. So you're going to get a really good sense of things. So you are going to mark one box as sinking.
Okay. And I'll mark power as well. Right.
So you mark if you take an additional effect. So
okay.
We're going to roll first. We'll see what you want to know. And then if you want, you can take an additional effect.
Okay, cool. Wow, dice are making it interesting. That's a 5 total.
So you will grab onto that, extend your senses, and you will see as you kind of do that and concentrate, Macaulay's digging around in there, and you see him stop, and he straightens up, and you see him turn, and you see the flesh peel back from his face and rip off, and you'll see the sort of purple scalish skin and the burning eyes, and this demon hops down off of the back of the truck and starts walking towards you with purpose. Who the fuck are you?
So I'll have stood up, and straighten my jacket, and I mean, I think it won't be absurd for me to like to do a neck crack. Who the fuck am I? Who the fuck are you?
I'm the guy
With
who's
some
going to
good
rip
junk.
your throat out.
Oh. I mean, I guess it's dark, right? I mean, I guess no one will. We got some time for a shakedown. Yeah. Okay.
The two people who were there, you see them, they're still just kind of standing there, kind of glaze-eyed at this point. And he pops some claws and strides towards you. And he goes, fucking cultists. Every week I have to cut one of your throats.
Wait, what? Cultists? I'm not a fucking cultist.
Kind of pauses.
And there'd be this sense of like grievous insult.
Okay.
Like, how dare you?
And he's like, well, then who are you with?
What do you mean, who am I with?
Who are you with?
I like junk as much as the next guy.
Yeah, well, random junk folks don't cast spells and call on powers and invoke contracts when they're standing in the parking lot of the YWCA here.
Oh, okay, yeah. I guess I'm a hound, right? I'm sniffing around in your corner because it's interesting.
Let's think you're kind of trying to take control of the situation a little bit here, right?
Yeah, I guess and I'm not above trying to get him off balance by
Yeah.
throwing in these extra curveballs, right?
So this is conflict because you are kind of
okay.
trying to change the situation, trying to impose your will here. What do you want to roll that with?
I think maybe fear.
Okay.
Because, like he's not I take it like he's not something I've really encountered.
No, you've heard that there are scavenger demons in the city.
But also like I am not to be trifled with. So
yeah.
I'm kind of shoving that back in his face.
Let's have you roll. And don't forget to mark XP for your last miss as well.
Okay. No, wow. That's a 6.
That is a 6. I think there's that moment when he goes, you know what, I don't care. And suddenly he is like a shot. He is across the parking lot and he grabs onto you and he literally throws you over the building. You're flying through the air. It's like it was just so fast. And then there's that crunch as you hit the pavement and you hear the and the cars swerve around you as that happens. Go ahead and mark what you rolled with and mark XP.
I mean, I think there's like when I hit and then like there's like a couple of seconds of silence and then like some slates fall off the roof on top of me. That's when I kind of laugh. Yeah, then we can cut.
Okay, yeah, I think that's a good place to cut. Lord Bloom, let us return to you and your explorations. What are you doing?
Well, Lord Bloom knows that he does not have but by himself, he does not have like the raw power to go after Lean and Hungry Mike. Not if he has a ghost with him. That's outside his abilities. So I think he starts to in his mind, he's starting to do this as a long game. He needs
Okay.
to find some allies, find some way to isolate him. That's where his mind goes.
So what do you want to do? Do you want to introduce
Um,
an NPC? Do you want to go and talk to somebody that's already on the table? Do you want to study?
yeah,
Do you want to set up a party?
yeah. I was thinking of setting out a party because of the changeover, right?
Yeah.
It's going to happen. So I think he's going to start planning something as not like to take away from the, because I assume there's like an official ceremony and that sort of thing.
Well, there's one
And
for the people in the know that
yeah, yeah,
ties
yeah,
are going on, and then there's probably some general celebrations. But yeah, you can certainly roll in on
yeah.
that.
So I think he intends this to be kind of the after party that everyone, of course, has to go to, like the place to be. That's what he wants that to be.
So, is there a particular audience or a particular set of people that you'd like to draw in, like, dispossessed people from one of the courts, or tough people, or something else? Like, what kind of, give me a sense of the group that you're going to
Yeah.
build your list around.
Yeah, I think this will be because he's going after Lean and Hungry Mike, who's kind of on the fringe. He wants other people who are also on the fringes of the court. So it's not like the officials and that sort of thing. It's like the disaffected, the hangers on, the kind of people who aren't in the real circles of power, but maybe who either want to be or demonstrably don't want to be. Like the some people he could use to start building a power base, basically.
Absolutely. And so I think what we see is the montage of you finding a space, tracking down a DJ, arranging for alcohol. What else do you need for a changeling party of the kind that you are putting on?
Um, I think I think maybe the space is the theater.
Okay. Are
And
you
of course, he's not asking the others for
yeah, I was
permission.
going to say you're not asking the
Yeah, DJ, alcohol, and I think he's like picking out some props and maybe costumes that the costumes aren't to wear. He's like hanging. They're to hanging around like decorations, and yeah. Think he's also going to arrange for some sort of like artistic happening sort of thing. Like, yeah, like giving some of the people who show up will be given scripts and they'll be like up on the stage and playing out some play they don't know what it is about.
Perfect. You got this kind of planned out in your head. You got a few days to work on this. You got to get a generator. You know some people in the know. I think you are coming back to the theater as you are kind of, I imagine, the visualization, and you will see that outside the chain link fence of your theater. This is a street. There are people, parked there back here. Maybe a little unusual to see a van that you don't recognize, and you'll see that there are a group of 3 people, and they are walking around the outside of the theater. They've clearly like pushed the chain link fence thing open so they can get inside, and they are taking pictures.
Ooh, that's not good. Is so. Trying to think, I'm not sure of. Is there to what extent we have magic we can call on.
Absolutely. If you look under basic moves, you've got invoke contract.
Oh, cool.
If you want to create a real modest effect, cosmetic magical effect, you name it, it happens.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to do something bigger, you mark sinking, and then we make a roll. That's what
Cool.
Donna extended his senses, was able to see the demon and visualize there before things went pear-shaped.
Cool. Yeah, I think do these look like, are they like tourists? Are they
definitely not
from the city?
Tourists? They are making their way around with in a organized way. There's one guy who seems to be leading, and the other two are taking, digital photos. They have not with their cameras, but with actual like digital cameras.
Mm-hmm,
not with their phones, but with digital cameras.
Yeah. So I think what I would want to do, I think I would like, because if I remember correctly, Beloved had a certain affinity with like glamours and illusions and that sort of thing.
Yeah, every one of the change can do a little bit of illusions of themselves and very basic kind of glamours.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure if that.
Do you want me to come back to you?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll come back to that scene. But as you see, people are Mirage. So you've seen the severed head of the Dominus. What's next?
I think when I see that Path is struggling with the vision, first I'm like, this I can maybe draw some pictures out and change them and make an illusion of that maybe, and then I see that Path is struggling with the after effects, and I will go over and try to just maybe talk her down a little, like, hey, Path, I'm here, you're here, I see you. You can, thank you for doing this, but you can stop now. It's fine. It was just a dream. Maybe come back. Hello. And I think there's a move for that. That's the support move, right? I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
Feels like that is what the situation calls for.
What are you rolling that with?
Fear, because I'm worried for her.
Okay.
I think that would be fear, right?
Yeah.
Yep, it's an 11.
Oh, so Path, if you have a mood that's marked, you can clear that. Otherwise, you're going to take +1 forward. And Mirage, you can clear a marked mood, ask them a question, or gain a bond with them.
Ooh, ask them a question. I always like asking questions, but I can't really think of one that I would want to know. Or maybe the question I would ask, but this is a question that is on the player, more on the player level, right? Not a character question. Okay. I think the question I would ask here is, no, I think I'm taking a bond. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's okay.
Can't think
Absolutely.
of a really good question. I already have one, but they stack, right?
Yeah. So how is it that you are supporting them, and then Path, how do you react to that intimacy?
Well, Sabine sort of said some of the words that Mirage would have said, and I think that talking Path back to this space is like a very effective tool, especially the words "I see you." I think Sabine, your words were chosen very well, or Mirage's words were chosen very well. Maybe Mirage knows Path better than most. And I think because I'm relatively calm in this space and I'm back in my comfort zone, I recover quickly. But I don't know if I've ever gone into Platinum Royals memories before, and they have such an intense energy. And what I saw was something that would so drastically change our landscape that it's going to stick with me. But it works.
Okay.
And you see my third eye close slowly, and I sort of like warm to you again, and like go for a little cuddle and maybe shed a few tears.
Yeah. I will, and in this case, I will mostly take care of you and try to keep the little nightmare thingy away from you as best I can, because I think it's still there. Nightmare is trying to linger.
It's at least the after image of it hanging in the air there, like when you blink and it's still kind of there.
Yeah.
So you still have to get this gift, Mirage.
Yeah, I know. I have to get this gift. I need to find it first, though, because I'm taking this a little too literally. But on the other hand, it is kind of dramatic if Tomorrow's Dance shows up with a statue, the head of another Dominus, even if it's just an illusion and people can see that. It's still kind of dramatic, right? I mean, he wanted dramatic.
Very dramatic, yes.
That is an understatement.
Yeah, well, I'm not that good at politics, so I have to find something like that though, and make it so that it's kind of presentable. And also it's up to Tomorrow's Dance if he actually wants to offer that, right? None of that is my fault if it goes sideways.
So what are you telling Path?
I'm telling Path that I'm very grateful for her help, and if she ever needs something that I can give her and that I can achieve, I will obviously be here and help her with these things. And now I have a task ahead of me to find what I need, or what well, you know.
So I think if you engaged Path at a time when she was more verbal, she would have some words for you, maybe some advice, maybe help guide you in the way that she knows Platinum Royal. But I think she's so distraught that, and I think as a player, it's fun to let you go on this path. And I think if you get ready to go, or all the words that she has for you is be careful, beware. Like she's still in her like witches, like portentous Galadriel kind of space, and like the vengeance is strong, and she knows that if you revealed one of her like secret desires in the form of a gift, it would go so badly if you didn't actually like help her achieve what she wants. Like obviously it would be better to give her a gift that would help her in her aims towards this thing, but she's not telling you that. She's just saying be careful.
Yeah. Mirage just nods and says, well, I'll try my best. How bad can it be?
That's a very good question. How bad can it be?
I have an idea how bad it can be, actually, but compared to that, I don't think that this here will be so bad. So yeah.
All right.
No,
that sounds perfect.
Yeah, right. I will then go and see. There is a move right into the Undertow Harvest. There was a move where you can look in the dreams for something, in someone's dreams. Wasn't there? Walk and dream. There it is.
Yeah. So when you enter the dreams of a sleeping person, you can see.
Okay, that means that no, that's not what I need. I think I still need the cobbler thing. Reach into the dreams of the Undertow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is it you are trying to bring forth?
Well, I guess the severed head. I don't know the dominus of. I feel that maybe I'm not precisely sure who this person is whose head I'm pulling out, because I don't think I have had much interaction with the Court of Candles so far.
Okay.
So yeah.
Well,
Just,
then let's have you make a roll.
yeah. And I think
Reaching
I'm
in for the severed head of someone that you don't know.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
I'm doing that with sorrow though, because this is like, yeah, well, severed head. I mean, it's just a dream, right? It's just a dream. But
Yeah.
Still, it's kind of sad. Somebody wants something like that. That's a 6. So can I use my newly found bond with Path, because she put me on this path, to push that up to 7?
Yes, you may.
I will do that.
So you get to pick 2, and then I'll describe what it looks like.
I think it is not fleeting, and it is as envisioned.
Okay. So you have what appears to be drawn from the dream, a fairly accurate, like, fake severed head that sort of looks like how you envision or others remember spoken silence. So it's a little bit like you've got the severed head of early Susie Sue from Susie and the Banshees that you've got there. It looks pretty good. It's not magical, so it's not dripping blood or anything like that, and it is cold, and it you definitely feel that it is an object with a sense of reality to it. So someone looking at this will think that this is an actual severed head. Does that seem fair?
Seems so fair.
Oh yeah. Let's take 5 for our second break. Come back, go to path, and then back to scale. Okay. Thank you for my players who always remind me to hit the record button again. So Path, you've had a very strange meeting. You're kind of coming off of using your powers in a way you haven't in a while, and using them with someone who's kind of important. So what do we see you doing next?
I mean, I've just discovered the possibility of some great intrigue and some great upheaval of the courts as we know it, or at least an intention. And I know Platinum Royal can be a conniving person, calculating.
And the leader of your court, right?
Mine own court, yes.
Yeah.
I think at some point I need to go to questions.
Okay.
But I also need to go to the coffee shop, and I'm okay with either of those happening at different times.
Let's do questions first. Let's see you, later that day or early the next morning, walking through the arcade that they have set up. Kind of the machines are off, they haven't turned them on for the day, and kind of walk to the back. Questions actually has a set of wrenches and like a soldering iron. He's working on one of those motherboards, and we'll see you at Path. Kind of looks around. It's not don't usually see you out.
I thought I'd come and see your place. You still working on Pac-Man?
It's Ms. Pac-Man, but it's yeah. Some of these boards are really old. It's not just that they weren't treated well; it's that the plastic of some of them are just breaking down. I have to do a lot of rewinding of time on them.
Sounds like your sort of thing. And Path is definitely looking around, like a little nervous in this place, but Questions is here and she trusts Questions.
Do you want some coffee?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Goes, he'll have you sit down, pour, got a little French press, pushes down and pour that out for you. Something on your mind?
More than usual, I guess. And I think she's like building up the courage to sort of broach the subject. And she's like, have you seen any of my friends around lately?
I had a visit from one of your friends. Yeah.
What was it? Scale?
It was. He's been looking for some work, so I had a conversation about that, and he was willing to take on a more dangerous task.
Questions? You gave him a... Where did you send him?
I really can't say, but we just asked him to go and check out someone who we think might be harmful to potentially to all of the changed. Someone who's kind of done some things that have been harmful to some of them. Look, Scales tough. This is a real good chance for him to show off what he can do, and then maybe I can help get him some more work.
I just know you to be a hard teacher sometimes. But that's not why I'm really here. Has there ever been... Has there ever been all-out war between the courts?
There is always conflict. That is the nature of the courts. They are a mirror of the takers that creates a reflection that helps keep them out. So much as we might look to avoid those kinds of tensions, they're a necessary part of the ritual that keeps these courts intact.
Well, something tells me the ritual is about to get bloody.
What makes you say that?
A vision came to me unbidden, and I couldn't see it clearly, but I think that, and she goes to a whisper, I think that Platinum's Royal is planning something.
So you are saying to me, a fellow member of the Court of Tides, that you suspect that the Dominus of the Court of Tides is planning something. Is that what you're saying out loud to me?
I suppose...
Because I may have misheard you. Did I mishear you?
Yeah, Yes, 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 yes. You misheard me. I'm plagued by by dark thoughts.
I want you to understand. You say that that whatever this thing is you saw, this phantom, this shade, that it came to you unbidden. I want you to know that I stepped up for you with our court because there were people that feared what you could do. People who feared that you could reach into their mind and their memories, gifts that are closer to the takers than many others. You need to be careful.
Can I study questions?
Absolutely.
I'm going to roll with sorrow, knowing that I've failed him in the words that he just said in how he trusted me and vouched for me, or at least moved outside of his desires. So let's see. That's a +1. It's a 9.
You have one hold.
Okay.
What is your question? Or what detail do you want to reveal?
Oh, that's interesting. I guess my question is, I want to know, like, I sort of want the emotional resonance of like how questions is involved here. Like if he's resigned himself to doing something horrible, if there's a sense of doom and dread hanging over him. And
so what is your question?
What is my question?
How does he feel about X, or how does he feel about Y?
Well, I saw him in the memory, so I want to know how he feels about his part in what is to come in Platinum Royal's plan. What do I get from him?
You can definitely tell that he doesn't perceive whatever threat Royal made as serious, perceives it as blowing off steam, a complaint, that kind of thing. Doesn't take it seriously. However, you've seen her memory, so you know that he's probably wrong. But he clearly has talked her down, he believes. Does that seem like a fair answer?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I think she says, I just want you to be safe and Scale to be safe. And
I want you to finally find a place here with us.
well, what is my place to be if all that they want from me is to use me for the rare thing that I can do, or hide me away so that I can't be who I really am? What is my place?
Your place is to live your life, figure out what it is you want to do. The courts will ask you for things. You can do them, but you don't always have to. You need to figure out who you want to be this time.
Okay.
Go and relax. And if you have or things that I can help you with, I will. I'm glad you came to me and not to someone else.
Well, I guess I am too, but I still have a bad feeling.
There's an ashtray with tokens over there if you want to play some before you leave. Go ahead.
And I think the caffeine jitters are taking hold, and she just picks it up and goes, slams a token in a pinball machine and just starts slapping the machine.
Nice.
And thinking about Scale and how he's probably getting his ass kicked.
Scale. You kind of roll up laughing from the road there. Do you walk back to the parking lot, or are you like, okay, I think I need to not be here?
Yeah, I think I'm going home.
Okay.
I mean, like the walk is getting kind of more and more purposeful as I get closer to the theater, right?
Okay.
And you know, I don't know. I'm not saying I'm smacking random walls as I walk past them, but you know, I'm getting more and more pissed off as I get closer to home.
What is it you see that is an opportunity for you to maybe vent a little bit? Is it late night drunks? Is it somebody parked badly? Is it some like a construction site or a demolition site? What is it that you can act on?
Yeah, I think there is an absurd sporty BMW or something parked. I'm not sure how I know it's badly parked or in the wrong space or something, but
it's a handicap space. You look, no tags.
But also, it's a convertible BMW. They're probably doing something wrong, even if I don't know it. Right? This is my attitude, and yeah, I think I'm going to do something just kind of recklessly stupid, like just bounce it so that the handbrake releases, and then it just kind of
a lot of hills
down.
Here.
Yeah, exactly. It just goes down the hill until it crashes into a skip or another car or something.
Absolutely. Let's have you roll stay strong just so we can see if this goes overboard or if it seems good.
Yeah. I mean, is this anger? I think it's anger. I know it's the most obvious one. Okay, let's see, 10. Purposeless violence I'm good at. Nothing I need to do.
So you will hit this car. That brake will give, and it'll start rolling back, and it'll roll down a hill. And then you see the street swallow it. The street opens up, the car falls in, and then it just closes up. You can clear one of your moods.
Okay.
There's a low kind of rumble, like almost the feeling of like there are no subways here, but there's a feeling like a subway moving under the street after it swallows the car.
Yeah. And I think, I think I'm like walking like very purposefully, exultantly down the road. Like I'm gonna pass over this spot, anyway, but I am in exultant soccer hooligan mood, right?
Absolutely. And I may, well, I'm going to do Lord Bloom's scene, and I may cross your paths with him in just a second, so we can kind of do that. Lord Bloom, let me come back to you. There are these three people taking the photos of the theater. What is it you want to do?
They were inside the fence, right?
Yeah, they haven't gone in the building at all. They are
Yeah.
going around the outside of it, but they're inside the fence.
Yeah. So I assume we've set up like a second entrance through the fence somewhere, so
Yeah.
just that I can get inside. And then I think I will try to glamour myself as like the most scary looking person living rough you can imagine, like incredibly dirty, very aggressive, and like I'll pick up like a broken bottle or a piece of rebar or something and just go at them, shouting something unintelligible and waving around and just trying to scare them.
Absolutely. I think it's no problem to do the glamour. I think that's a casual use of the magic. But this is going to be conflict. You're going to try to drive them off. What do you want to roll that with?
I'm going to roll with anger because they're in our space. This is our place. They're going to ruin my party if they drag a bunch of people here. We can't have that. So I'm rolling +1. That's a 4. There's no bombs belting that.
So I think as you rush up at them, they do startle back. Like they're clearly startled, but maybe they were expecting that there might be people sleeping rough here. And one of them, there is this moment you see their hand gesture up, and that's when they spray the mace in your face. Hits you straight in the eyes. Go ahead and mark what you rolled with. And I think you kind of stagger back. And they do like as you're kind of crying out, they are hightailing it back, but you hear one of them say, "Oh, we'll just come back during the day, and if we need to, we can get the police to come and shake them out." And another one of them says, this place is great. It's a great location. We got to get the permit. And they run back to their van and jump in, even as you're kind of weeping nectar and pollen from your eyes there. Scale, you will see this van, these people run out from inside. You're kind of down the block. You see them hop in a van and drive off quite speedily from out in front of your theater. You don't recognize them. And I think you'll see Lord Bloom kind of leaning against the building.
So yeah, I mean, I guess there's a moment, right, where Scale looks at that van speeding away and like almost can't resist chasing it, right? And then I'll like scowl and wander up inside and kind of like stop passing by Lord Bloom and go, what's going on?
You have come across me in an abject humiliation. These whoever they were snooping around. I tried to dissuade them, but they have merely retreated temporarily. They intend to come back with police and who knows what.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess we got to take care of them too. Sorry, I've got to find something and then go murder someone, okay?
Fine. Leave me here.
Like, do you do a hand up? Are you like actually hurt? Did Did they strike you?
They sprayed me. Can you just help me get inside so I can clean myself up?
Okay. Yeah, I think I'll just like grab his jacket and like haul him to his feet. Not very elegantly or helpfully, really, but yeah. And I'll which where do you want to go? Like, I mean, I don't even know where you sleep. Every time I see you, you're like in a different place.
Just
Can't you just
get
settle
me
down?
to the kitchen and I can fix something. I hear milk is good.
May I, if you take Lord Bloom, just so we get kind of a moment of cross paths. I like it to be one of those moments when Path is headed down to the kitchen. Mirage, you've left the hearth to go and get something for the kitchen, and the four of you cross paths. You see that Scale, like his jacket is scuffed. He's probably still got some like little bits of concrete stuck in him, the little stones, and you can see Lord Bloom is weeping great swaths of tears. Path, Mirage. What's your reaction to that, Mirage?
Oh no, I'm shocked. Weeping. I have to do. I feel that I have to do something, but I have no idea what, because going out and offering violence to people is probably not my forte. So I'm standing there. I'm lurking a little, and I will offer him a I will remember, and then I will offer him a handkerchief, because I have one, and I think I have one somewhere. No, that's no. There you go. And yeah. Did someone hurt you, and should we take vengeance on your behalf, Lord Bloom?
I sort of dab at my eyes that just feel the burning sensation. I need to clean this off, this chemical. There were people here snooping around, and I humiliated myself trying to get them out of here. It's awful.
I don't think you are capable of humiliating yourself, but no. But
you did not see what happened. It was awful.
Oh, okay. Well, I pity those fool mortals. Shall they ever return? I feel that Scale is the way he's looking. He looks like he's itching for a fight.
I am, but not for a bunch who hurt Lord Bloom's feelings.
And my eyes.
But you're weeping, Lord Bloom. I presume they insulted you something terrible.
They sprayed me with whatever it's called. I'm not weeping for humiliation. I am humiliated because I'm weeping.
Well, that is the most Lord Bloomy thing you've said all day. Milk, huh? So I think like maybe we have like a jug of milk or something. We don't have electricity, but like I think I grab Lord Bloom and like hold him as I'm gonna pour milk into his eyes. You know, like he's a cat having a bath. You know.
Path, what's your reaction to all of this?
I think Path is brightened a little bit watching her friends' shenanigans, and says, milk in the eyes is a changed remedy if I've ever seen one. But I think she's sort of waiting until Scale is setting off or alone because she wants to speak with him. But she's definitely a little withdrawn, and I think she's now seeing a representative of each of the courts and now thinking about what could happen if that future comes to be.
And you might see the large sack that Mirage is toting about the size of a head.
Oh no.
I think this is actually where we're going to cut today. I think we're going to cut here with this scene. We'll start out next time with what Lord Bloom is doing. We'll do the path scale conversation and kind of move a little bit forward. Does that seem reasonable?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because I think it kind of got that kind of nexus crossroads and have a chance if people want to talk more amongst each other about what they're doing and stuff and decide about helping one another. So our end of session move works like this. So did you express, question is, did you express your other self? So do you think you like leaned into who you are as a changed, using your powers or invoking that? Then we'll ask you, like, do you think you expressed your humanity? The kind of the other nature outside of that, the things that maybe kind of hold you back from being a changed? And then the last thing is we'll ask you if you interacted with any of your entanglements or your rival. Yeses to any of those is 1 XP. So Path, did you express your other self? Do you think you expressed your nature as a channel, as a constructed?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think like in the scene when Mirage came to the control room, especially.
And would you say that you expressed your humanity?
I think in my conversation with questions, I definitely was, trying to hit that young adult vibe.
Yeah, and I think we saw you there at the end, heading to talk to Scale. I'll give you the point for the entanglement interaction on that. Does that seem fair?
Yeah, I guess like I haven't really done it, and I haven't really followed up with Scale's rival, Hopscotch. But that's also in my
But that is a thing
entanglement.
that you said at the beginning. So you kind of leaned into that. You think I'm willing to do that. So that's 3 XP for you.
Okay.
Plus XP miss for any misses. And I know some people had some misses.
Wow.
Yeah. Donna, did you express your nature as a hound?
Yeah, I guess damn the torpedoes straight at them, kind of a sense of being on a job. Yeah, so I think so.
So give yourself an XP for that. Do you think you expressed your humanity?
Yeah, I guess that, I mean, the scene with questions where I was kind of hoping for something very normal, but kind of knowing that it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
And then I guess, although this kind of probably leaning into our entanglement, like the kind of way that I interacted with Bloom at the end.
Yeah.
Brutish maybe, but still, humane-ish.
So that's a full 3 XP there.
Yeah. Oh, so for the entanglement. Okay.
Yeah. Do you think, Lord Bloom, that you expressed your nature as a flower, as a beloved?
Mostly through like starting to arrange for this party.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Definitely a point for that. And your humanity?
Well, here at the end, I felt like that was very
all,
human.
all of the power of being a beloved kind of faded away by mace in the face. So that seems right. So a point for that. And you were pursuing Lean and Hungry Mike. So that's one of your entanglements and your rivals. So give yourself a point for that. Mirage, do you think you expressed your nature as an unmade, as a dream wisp?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I pulled a lot of stuff from dreams.
Yeah, the point for that. What about your nature of your humanity?
Not sure that I know my humanity, but maybe in the interaction with Bloom when I was like, oh, I have no idea what to do, but I want to help.
Yeah,
Kind of.
I think that hesitation expresses that and also ticks the box for your entanglement there.
Yeah.
So 3 points for you. I would like to do a quick stars and wishes. Stars being things that you dug particularly, about other characters, about play moments, anything like that. Wishes being things that you would like to see for your character, things you'd like to see more of, or things you'd like to see less of. And I usually have people do both of these together. So Matt, your first chair still, so I'll put you in the hot seat.
Sure. Um, a little star for scale, after hitting the ground and then having the shingles fall on top of him and then laughing. I just loved that moment. Such a great character moment. I think like first session is always a great opportunity to have those little, hits that really show what you're thinking about your character. And
Mm-hmm.
I love Lord Bloom saying, I'm not weeping because I'm humiliated. I'm humiliated because I'm weeping. It was such a good, like, little fairy-ish turn of phrase and just so memorable and so good. And Stardom Mirage for, I think, or to say Bean for really, I think, throwing me a lot of great character moments and coming to me like with a question. And I think it just set up a lot of scene and a lot of great interplay between our characters. And I really enjoyed the banter with Mirage. And I look forward to next. Oh, and for having Hopscotch call me at the top of the session, lol. Brilliant, brilliant.
Okay.
I'm so excited.
Any wishes?
Wishes. Well, part of what I wanted to talk to Scale about was like hopscotch, and I sort of want to I want to navigate that thing where Scale, hopscotch is your rival, and I also kind of want to work against her here, but I don't want to get you involved, and I don't want you to get too angry about it because then it changes you, and all this messy stuff. So I want to get into that a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's good.
Awesome. Donna.
Yeah. I guess stars. Lots of stars for that scene between Path and Mirage, where they kind of concoct horrible presents for each other out of dreams and the undertow and all of that. So, um, messy goodness all around. Yeah, that and the line Matt's already called out is like that will be the tagline of the episode, right? um, so yeah, and that kind of I don't know, very like I don't know, foppish Regency Lord kind of thing. I am undone, love it. And low, I mean, lots of great deft touches, GMing, but I think I especially loved Question So Loud going to Path. Am I hearing you right? Is that what you really said? Let me get this straight. Uh, yeah, so yeah, great reactions all around from the table on that moment on the recording, I think. Um, wishes for next week, I guess. Yeah, I want to see our characters' messy relationships a little bit more to the forefront. But there's lots of interesting pairings, which I can't wait to see. And I'm sure Path doesn't want, say, Scale to be angry about hopscotch, but we shall see how it works out for Path. So yeah, just kind of looking forward to the pot getting stirred.
All right. Ondish?
Yeah. Sorry, my mouse was being troublesome. Yeah, I think most of my stars have been mentioned already. Star to Lowell for that, the Macaulay demon just going right at scale when he when he showed up. I really liked that. And for showing us the the weird and magical side of the setting, for fronting that right at the beginning. I like that. Yeah, otherwise I think my stars have been mentioned. Again, the scene between Path and Mirage was really great, and Scale looking for a job, getting a job, kind of failing at the job, and kind of like not letting it bother him deep down. It felt like it was like he shrugged it off, even though he took it out on the beamer on the way. That was still like, yeah, it felt like he was, yeah, it felt right. Yeah. Wishes. This is more a wish for me to try to get a sense for our tangled relationships, because right now we have a lot of entanglements and I'm not clear of who's connected to who and who everyone is, and that may take a session or two before that kind of crystallizes and I have a good feel for everyone. But that's something I want to, yeah, I look forward to having that picture so we can start tugging on the right strings.
And we want to, I want to make sure that we introduce some more NPCs that you can pull into your web and get those set. I think maybe of the characters today, you had the sort of the shortest amount of time. So I definitely want to make sure we focus in on you and the building the party and getting a scene for that next time. Mirage.
Yeah, stars all around. That was a great first session. Loved this, great to have all these characters come to life. Yeah, I most of the stars have been mentioned. I will call out Path for the how inhuman in a little way she enacted the whole vision thing, and there were some great descriptions there, so I really like that. And a star to Yulo for making the whole thing with the wish a little more complicated than it might have otherwise have been, which will lead me to a wish for things to, yes, get more complicated, and see what will happen with the gift that when I bring it to my Dominus, and what he'll make of that. Yeah, and also I want to have more scenes with other PCs and NPCs. And anyway, yes, I am very excited for next session. I would also like for people to take advantage of Mirage's tendency to just go with whatever people tell them to do.
All right. Awesome. I enjoyed this very much. I love these characters already. I'm really excited to see where it go. You all gave me great things and terrible roles to allow me to make this wickedly complicated early on. So I'm very excited about those threads that we've got out on the table. And I love the feel that we've got already. I am going to stop the recording.